Beats Planet.
Doski, woski, peasky, whiskey. A lot of y'all people don't give a damn about who's first. But in case you are, Chris Brock, what's happening, fam? You first. It's Voch Lombardi. We in here with Lieutenant Dan. What's up, Dan?
I'm the tower of power, too sweet to be sour. I'm funky like a monkey. Sky's the limit. Space the place. Voch. What's going on, man?
God, man, your intro's getting better. Man, look, we just decided to drop an impromptu live stream. Cause I got into a little skirmish, a little Twitter skirmish. This one cat tried to call me out. He said I was name calling him. He said, "Why don't you let me on your show so we can discuss this like humans?" Well, fam, I opened up this platform for y'all to talk crazy about me all you want to. You know what I mean? I even had a show, a Disagree with Voch, called me out on my shit show, and two people stepped up to the plate. Fam, this is y'all show. Y'all can talk about whatever you want to talk about, and I'm here to run it with you. This is y'all's platform. So instead of hitting up some draft breakdown person or whatever, say, "Hey, I want to ask you a question," and they just ignore you on Twitter, I want to hear what y'all got to say. With that being said, today we want to talk about, it's getting close to January, fam. A lot of people ask me, "Yo, Voch, what do you think about what's-his-face Jenkins from Obscure State?" And I tell you, I don't know, January. It's getting real close to January, so that means I got to start producing draft content for y'all. And I'm going to uphold on my promise. I'm going to start dropping draft videos. I've watched a little bit of film today. I watched some Baker Mayfield film. I've watched some Bradley Chubb film. So if y'all want to talk some Baker Mayfield, the actual play, because last time we talked Heisman, we ain't talk play much because I don't like talking about shit I don't know. If y'all want to talk Baker Mayfield play or Bradley Chubb play, we can have that conversation. The phone lines are lit, 515-739-1285, access code 309104. It's all on the screen. It's in the description, okay? Also, this is a general draft talk situation. I don't want to hear about y'all relationship today because me and Dan actually got something to do film-wise after this situation here. So if y'all got some draft talk, we could do some draft talk. Nick Gashley, you want to call in and do your weekly thing you want to do? Let's do it.
It's got to be short. Gotta be short. We got things.
Gotta be concise. Gotta be concise, man.
Hey,
what's up?
Hey, and kids, make sure you hit that like button. Share this with your friends you're coming from. Make sure that you go hit the notification bell and make sure you sub to the channel if you haven't already. Hit 3 out of 4, man. Help this man out. Come on. Seriously. Let's get this man to 20,000 subs.
Damn.
Let's go.
Damn, that man talking. Phone lines lit already, man. So let's just jump into it. Remember what we're talking about here today, all right? So I'm going to hit that button. We're going to make sure the levels are straight. Unintentional grounding, Daniel. What's up, man?
What's up, Voch? How's it going?
Doski, woski, peasky, whiskey. What's good?
So it seems like you watched enough film to answer this question. Last year you said around this time that you thought it was a really top-heavy draft. What do you think about this draft? Because I think there's a lot of talent in days 1 and 2, but it's going to start getting pretty sparse in day 3.
I still think it's a top-heavy draft. I just think it's more spread out now. To where earlier I was thinking like, man, it's about 8, 9 cold prospects, and then there's some regular guys. Then it's going to fizzle out. I see about a solid 12 to 18, 12 or 13 or so stars. Some pretty good, solid, I believe in these guys type of players. I'm not even ready to say that they're better than last year's draft. But I do like more people than I did at first, and it's still pretty top heavy to me.
Yeah, there's a lot of dudes at a lot of positions that I like in this draft. What I found interesting, though, is that we've had a series of really good running back classes and really good cornerback classes. And I thought that was interesting. Do you think there's anything behind that trend, or is it just coincidence?
It's easier for running backs to be running backs. As far as corners, I haven't watched too many corners, so January. But as it's something fun. It's like January is like a safe word for us now. You know what I mean? Like we don't want to get too far into negligent draft talk. So when we do January, you know what I mean? But yeah. I mean, running backs. It does seem to be a good handful of years for running backs. Saquon kind of putting the nipple on the titty right now, as far as people liking him. But I'll say the running back depth of last year and the year before, I'll say that depth has been better. And it's just more so we see some pretty good talent now, because we were talking about Nick Chubb and Royce Freeman being in the who's who the last couple drafts. They didn't come out, but now they're looking like day 2 guys, day 3 guys now. You know what I mean? So it says a lot about the depth at running back, but you got to compare that to the rest of the class. So what else you got?
One thing that I will say is different about this year's cornerback class is you got some straight ball hawks out there, man. You got this, Josh Jackson is an ex-receiver, so he actually came into college as a receiver, so he's got some hands on him. Straight ball hawk there. And then Isaiah Oliver, I think out of Colorado, is it? Yeah. He's one heck of a ball hawk. And there's this dude, one of my friends was telling me about from Troy, who goes crazy with the interceptions. So you got some playmakers back there. And we've had some good cover guys, but there haven't been this kind of ball hawk corners in the past few drafts, if you ask me.
Absolutely, January. 100% January. I don't know any of those people, but I'll know them soon though. Lieutenant Dan, you got anything on any of those points? Running back classes, cornerbacks in this class?
Yeah, there's a lot of corners in this particular class that are more corner than they are utility player. There are more guys that fit the corner bill than they do a free safety build or a strong safety build, guys that will transition to other spots. There are more true corners in this draft than anywhere else. This running back class is very top heavy. I really do feel that. I think you're going to get a couple of guys that are going to pop up in the mid rounds that are going to be hit or miss. But there's really only 1 or 2 or maybe 3 top guys. And top guys deceiving as a word, but top guys in this draft as far as running backs. Saquon kind of just, sitting up there at the top. And as far as the rest of the draft's concerned, as far as a top-heavy draft, I agree. I completely agree with unintentional grounding, Dan. It's going to be one of those. It's going to be one of those drafts where you're going to get your talent that you deserve from the first round, but you're not going to get the talent you want from rounds 2 and going on. You will get great playmakers. You will get great guys that you'll have to teach and learn and grow them over the next couple of years, but you're not going to get immediate starters out of the next couple of rounds after that. There's going to be a lot of guys that need time to grow.
Nick Gashler, what do you think?
With this running back class, and hello, by the way, this running back class, I'm a huge fan of. It's got a good depth to it, and it's got a lot of good top-heavy guys. You're looking at the top 3 of Saquon Barkley, Bryce Love, Darius Guice. But also in that next year, you got runners like Ronald Jones, second, I believe, Damian Harris, Rashad Penny, Kerryon Johnson, Sonny Michel. That's a really underrated name, Sonny Michel. Keep an eye out for that guy. I think he's better than Nick Chubb at this point. But even after that second tier guys, you got the 6, 7, 8 guys. Akram, Wadley, Miles, Gaskin. I'm just looking at my notes here. Kalen Ballage, I believe, is pretty good. Josh Adams isn't bad.
He comes to the Vash Lombardi show with notes.
I come to every show with notes.
Go ahead.
Okay, either way. And then you got the guys that are kind of fizzling out at the end here. You got Bo Scarborough. Bo Scarborough is about it from what I'm looking at on my notes.
No Royce Freeman there?
Yes, I actually did. I mention Royce Freeman because I meant to put him in the second tier to third tier guys.
Okay, yeah, I was a bit confused when I didn't hear him there, but I figured you
my bad.
forgot to say him. You're good.
But then let's take a look at the cornerback class. Isaiah Oliver is my DB1, and it may be my Colorado bias, but I'm a huge fan of this kid. Rangy, not rangy, that's safety, my bad. He's got length. I saw him make a play against North Texas. He was legit. He probably a yard behind where the ball was going. He just reached up with his arm and grabbed that right out of the sky. It was really good and returned it for about 50 yards. Just a quick example of that. He doesn't look like a bad cover corner. He needs to improve on his run defense, but we'll cross that road when we get there. And then we got Denzel Ward. We got Joshua Jackson. We've got Carlton Davis from Auburn. We've got Tavares McFadden from Florida State. And then we've got also Levi Wallace. I'm a huge fan of him from Alabama. I'm a huge fan of Kevin Tolliver from LSU, Jair Alexander from Louisville, Quentin Meeks from Stanford. The list goes on and on. Duke Dawson from Florida. Those are just a couple of the names that I'm looking at right here that make up the need of the cornerback class right now.
Yeah, there's serious ball skills in this cornerback class.
Mm-hmm. And have you, and non-unintentional grounding Dan or unintentional grounding Dan, have you taken a look at the safety class yet?
I haven't looked that much into the safety class yet, no, unfortunately.
I see a lot of mock drafts having the Atlanta Falcons take a free safety, especially the Ronnie Harrison kid out of Alabama. So I have been peeping it. I've been peeping it, but I haven't really been getting into it because it's not a super need for Atlanta, nor have any of the mock drafts free safeties that people are trying to give us. The Falcons have sent any scouts out to any of those schools. So I follow where the scouts go. Where the scouts go, that's where I go, and that's where I put my eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. All right. Just looking at the safety class, I got 5 names for you: Derwin James, Minka Fitzpatrick, Ronnie Harrison, Deshaun Elliott, and Marcus Allen. All really big studs.
Nick, have you watched
January?
Have you watched Jesse Bates out of Wake Forest? Yeah, he's a junior, I think. He might be. He's really good though.
Who?
Yeah. Okay. Not many people have heard of him, but trust me, he's quite good. Quite good. Yeah, Jesse Bates, the third out of Wake Forest.
Draft breakdowns lacking in all these film cut-ups.
Speaking of draft breakdown, did y'all get the email saying, "Hey man, we just kind of gonna keep your $2, but it's free now, thanks." Did y'all get that?
yeah. I saw that.
I'm really hype about that, dude. I've been searching for him on YouTube, and that gets a little bit frustrating trying to find a particular film that you're looking for.
Yeah, like that's $4 of my own pocket money that's wasted, but.
That whole $4, that entire $4. I mean,
the $4. Hey man, it's $4. That could get you a bag of almond M&Ms, or you can contribute to Botch channel with that stuff, man.
But you know what? That is very true. You could have put that in my Patreon, 100%. So I watched some film today, guys, and I'm not gonna start doing videos till like January, but I did watch some film today. I watched Baker Mayfield and I watched Bradley Chubb. And I walked away with an interesting feel with both of them. Let me close my teacup. Have both of y'all watched Bradley Chubb and Baker Mayfield formally?
I've watched Baker, but I have not watched Bradley that much.
What about you, both Dans?
You know, I like Bradley Chubb's attitude on the field. You know, he's sort of got that Tasmanian devil in him that you talked about Arden Key having in your early look with him. I don't know if you saw Vach, but he dislocated one of his fingers on a play where it was like bent out at a 45-degree angle to the side, and he came back in 3 plays later. I mean, that dude, he cares a lot about football, and that matters. That definitely matters in an NFL prospect.
That's a damn shame. I watched Bradley Chubb, and just based on what I've been hearing, you know, the rumors and what the pundits, the peanut gallery, the 4-letter network been saying, I was expecting to walk in and see the next great defensive end. Bradley Chubb could use some work, you know. What I like about him is that he's very strong initially at the point of attack when he first gets hands on you. Strong hands, strong pop, and then he disengages based on that pop because he's so used to punching people in the mouth that they're going, "Holy shit, what happened?" Then he'll disengage. But once you get past that, he doesn't really have anything else for you. You know what I mean? And whenever I drop a film session, I'll kind of sort of show you this. But like I said, he has great hands. They're very strong. They're very technical. But you don't see him. Okay, cool. I'm about to do a heavy rush on the outside shoulder, plant my foot, spin back inside. You don't see that. You know what I mean? You like that. He has hand technique, great hand usage, but he doesn't have that Derek Barnett full blown technique. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And go ahead.
The dude that I would look for in that, I love Harold Landry. He's my top edge prospect, and he was up there in the mock draft at the beginning of the season. He's lost some steam, and I'm not entirely sure why. But he's got a significant arsenal of tricks that he can pull out, and he's got some good bend, got some ass whoop in him, but he can have some pretty technical rushes as well. So I really like Harold Landry from not only a potential aspect, but also he's got some polish on him.
That's the point I was going to make.
I don't see him.
Like Harold he's a smaller dude, but his technique and polish makes him play bigger. Bradley Chubb ain't got that, but Bradley Chubb does have great hands, great hand power, and great hand usage. What was you saying, Nick?
I don't see Harold Landry executing the said great pass rushing skills. I see him getting caught on the blocks and letting the runner or letting the QB throw it before he can get there. I don't see it in him.
Well, it's hard to get sacks. You know what I'm saying? Let's not act like you could just go to Walmart, go to aisle 5 and pick up sacks.
Then why is Bradley Chubb getting 2.5 a game?
Well, Bradley Chubb is considered to be better than Harold Landry. But let's not act like Harold Landry isn't good at what he's good at just because he's not better than Bradley Chubb. I'm not ready to say Bradley Chubb is better because it's not January yet, you know?
Right, and let's also talk about this, right? You've got to talk about what skills are translatable, right? Because polish is going to be more translatable than just ass-whooping people, right? Because college offensive tackles are a lot easier to get some ass whoop on, like with Bradley Chubb, than NFL tackles. Whereas technique, you can get by on technique a lot more consistently against a lot higher talent than you can with just straight whooping their ass.
And I'll say this is where I kind of sort of quasi almost just about not really disagree with you. Like, because if you take Bradley Chubb and say, okay, look, you got strong hands. Like, you strong, you quick, you this, you that, you powerful, great hand placement, hand usage. I can teach you how to chain moves together. Yeah. You can't teach Harold Landry how to not be light in the ass or violent. You know what I mean? Like
yeah, for sure.
Kind of like with Tack McKinley. What I liked about Tack the most is Tack showed up. He started whooping people ass with nothing, and you go, man, if you just spin right there and you got him. You know what I mean? So both guys, you can add pieces to their game and they'll translate moving forward. But I think like when you think about what made Joey Bosa so good so early was he was good with his hands. Plus whatever coach whatever coach taught him, whatever they taught him when he got to the league, that made Joey even better than he was in, just that fast or whatever. Right. I think if you take Bradley's hands and put him on top of that, plus his ass whoop, plus his point of attack strength, Brad got some bend too. Then I think that'll translate nicely.
I just wanted to mention, I had a film session that I did on him earlier. A couple of things that I just recalled from doing that film session. Great read and react skills. I mean, you're going to see him against the run.
Absolutely.
You're going to see him notice the run and then actively try and get to the run. I saw that right off the bat on one of the first plays that I watched for him against Florida State. And also, Vach made the point of his bend. His bend is really good. I mean, we saw him 2 sacks, and he was able to get off the block, put his hips and his shoulders to parallel the quarterback and get after him like that. I really like his bend.
Well, he bends so well because he's so good at the point of attack. Like, if he punches the hell out of you and you kind of got to recover on that, your hands aren't going to be in a good place. Your hips aren't going to be in a good place. But I actually made this point watching the film, and I'll do it on video and show y'all later. There was a point to where Bradley was whooping the hell out of some dude. Might have been Louisville or something. And he was like...
it was probably Louisville, knowing their offensive line.
Probably Louisville. He punched the hell out of him, just shoved him, right? And the dude from Louisville, he's doing the drunken dance walk, and his feet are close together. His hands are down. His base is bad. But Bradley didn't really have a move to finish him. Like, the Louisville dude just stood back up and put hands on Brad and kind of blocked him. But if Brad had a little more polish, he could have got him. But in contrast, if he punched the hell out of you in your neck and you bending and you flipping, you don't have hands on him, it makes it real easy to bend. I think like one of the better bendy guys in the last couple drafts I've seen was like Kevin Dodd. Kevin Dodd could bend his ass off. Like, he just knew how to do it. If you put that kind of bend with Bradley Chubb, like, okay, look, I didn't just whoop you then bend. Like, you can be 100% on me, great block, but I'm so good at bending, I'm just going to bend whoop you. Man, Bradley Chubb would be so nasty, dog.
Yeah. And this is sort of the thing with edge rushers, You'll see these dudes like Derek Barnett not go quite as high because they're not super ass whoop guys. Their ceiling is slightly limited, but they're so technical that they can make an immediate impact in the league, and they can be pretty good from the start. But you'll see a lot of these guys just drafted on potential, and while, there is that potential that they can become, some crazy Von Miller, J.J. Watt guy for you, there's also the risk that if they're not that super, super ass wolf guy like a Myles Garrett, then their floor is not much. Mm-hmm. So, it's just sort of the whole risk-reward dilemma that you go through with drafting edge rushers.
True.
Now, speaking of J.J. Watt, are you going to finish?
Yeah, I was going to say, Lieutenant Dan, did you have something?
Oh, I was just kind of getting trampled over, and it's okay. I mean, you guys are making really good points, and I don't have any problem with it. But really far back, back to Harold Landry again. It's kind of funny because Vach and I were talking about Harold Landry just a little while ago before we started up the stream, and we were talking about how he has some things that he does that. He may be a little bit bigger than a Vic Beasley. He may be a little smaller than, weight-wise, what people are thinking. And we don't know the official weights, but if we're getting, a variable here and we're kind of getting our sum, then we know that we've got a guy that's a tweener. He's fast. He's got talent and technique. But he has these just little tiny snippets where he's undisciplined, hitting quarterbacks really low, just getting blown off of tackles. There's little things you got to pay attention to that. Then skip over the Chubb, where you guys were talking about Chubb and how, there's some things that he needs to work on as well. You guys kind of made those counterpoints, said there's a little bit of something for each one of those guys that need to work on. I think Chubb is the most complete of the defensive ends that we have. I think, we're talking about Landry and Arden Key being somewhere around a Vic Beasley type or something along those lines, a speed rusher type that needs work when they're blocking against the run. But you're looking at a Chubb who's a complete package. He could play in a 34 or a 43. And I think a guy that can definitely go in there. He does need some things to learn, especially finishing moves. God, he just needs to finish. There's so many times, especially against Clemson, where, and I'm a Clemson guy, I'm telling the truth. Bradley Chubb had so many times where he was about to take down my quarterback, and he just needed a little bit more, just a little bit more. And it's going to come with some seasoning. Like I said with Takk McKinley, and Vach was pointing, Takk McKinley just raw, goes out there where nothing has been able to do it in college. Here we see him in the NFL, and he's starting to learn the technique. Go see my videos on Unintentional Grounding's YouTube page or YouTube channel. And you'll see week to week, I keep going, look, watch this guy grow. Watch him start using his hands more, getting more violence, getting scary. People are trying to hold him now. He's getting those penalties. Bradley Chubb just needs to continue to do what he's doing right now and get a little NFL seasoning. And I think he'll be one of the best defensive ends in this class, period. There's no debating that. Everyone else, I feel like, needs work when you go down the list of other defensive ends that are going to be in this draft, especially with the 43 guys. The 34 guys, I see some great talent, some amazing talent out there. But again, just a little sprinkle of NFL quality, beefing up, training. I mean, losing weight. I mean, it could be either or for Chubb. NFL quality strength. And I think we were talking about this before, weren't we, Vach? About, your NFL coaches and collegiate coaches are like parents, and their players are like their kids. Yep. And you see the potential in them and see what they can do. And if you're a bad parent, you're going to teach them bad things, right? You're not going to teach them how to, do the bank account. You're not going to teach them how to drive their car. You're not going to teach them about regular life things, about the street stuff that needs to be taught. Street smarts are super important. And that's the same thing with coaches. They know how far their NFL quality player is going to go, so they put them in the best place to succeed. And I think it's funny when we see a guy like Chubb or a guy like Takk or a guy like Harold Landry, or, let's even talk about quarterbacks for a second, kind of like Rosen and Luck and Wentz, where you see the potential, what you're getting for there. But if you treat it right, if you know their weaknesses and their strengths, and you put them in a place to succeed and give them that level of seasoning that they need, they're going to be great. They're not going to be goats everywhere, because not everybody can be a goat. but they're going to be good enough for your team. And we were talking about that before the stream about how, Chubb and Landry and Key and some of these other guys, they need NFL season, and then we'll know who they truly are because we're outsiders looking in, So we'll never know who these guys are until 3 years down the road. But the biggest thing is that these coaches know who they are, and that's how they're using him. I was watching some Harold Landry tape today, and I was watching how the commentators immediately pointed out maybe 2 plays into the Harold Landry tape that they don't play Harold Landry a lot. You know why? Because the coaches know that he gets tired too quick and that he's not effective against the run. So they only put him in on passing downs. And then on downs where late in the game, they want to extend that kind of trust in Harold Landry to do the job. Whereas Chubb's in on every down. True. That's what North Carolina State knows. They know who Bradley Chubb is. They're going to let him go out there and fly and let him do his thing because they know who he is. Just like a good parent knows what that child is going to succeed in. They try to push them that way. If they have aspirations or other things, obviously they go in and help them. But they go, this is what you're probably going to be good at. Chubb, this is what you're going to be good at. We're going to let you do your thing. Harold Landry, sorry, buddy, you're just not. You don't have the stamina for it.
Kind of like that. Kind of like when Michigan lines up Mo Hurst at like 5 tech and shit. Kind of like that.
We were just having a conversation in the live chat about what do you think about Mo Hurst, and I said because a Cowboys fan was asking, I said, look, I mean, Mo Hurst, I've looked at some of his tape, and I will get to that as soon as I can. But all I can say about Mo Hurst is that he's being talked about by the pundits and by the 4-letter and 3-letter network guys, and that's trouble. Mm-hmm. That's trouble because they don't watch the tape.
True.
So just be wary. Go watch with your own eyes. Don't just take it from us or take it from the network pundits. Go watch because then you can go see and then come together and talk about it. That's why we're here. That's why we're on Vach's show. That's why we're on my show on Unintentional Grounding. That's why we're talking to Nick and non-unintentional grounding because Dan because we're out here looking with our own eyes and coming together and going, this is what we see. And if we're all coming together and seeing the same thing, I bet you about $50 that a scout out there is probably seeing the exact same thing too, to an NFL team or owner.
Good talk.
So
Good
that's
talk.
my thoughts on what we were talking about.
Yeah.
Good.
In building off of that sort of parent analogy, that sort of is where the underrated aspects of, intangibles and coaching situation come into the draft process that we as fans don't really get to see that much, but they're really important because you can see all the potential that you want in a person, but that's only going to get realized if they have the work ethic to get in there with the right coaches and actually learn the moves or, learn how to make these progressions and stuff like that. And that's something that we don't really get to judge very well as fans, and that's what makes our job as draft nicks even harder relative to actual GMs because we don't get that aspect of the draft
or not
process.
even GMs, just scouts for the teams in general, and be able to go see these guys live, talk to them, and watch them do their thing. It's just it's tough.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway,
And
go ahead quickly, Nick. Quickly, last point, Nick. Go ahead.
yes, I'll be as quick as I can. So Dan, you were unintentional grounding. Dan, you were talking about J.J. Watt. I just want to throw out somebody who's been compared to J.J. Watt quite a lot. Taven Bryan, excuse me. I really like him.
All right, you've been holding that point for 15 minutes, huh, Nick? We ain't talked about J.J. Watt 15 minutes. Anyway, have all y'all watched Baker Mayfield?
Oh yes.
I haven't really gotten there thoroughly yet.
Okay, cool.
Recorded some film on him the other night.
So I actually walk away with the kind of opposite opinion, right? Like I was expecting to walk away with more from Bradley Chubb. This time I was expecting to walk away with, okay, now let me see what this Johnny Manziel shit gonna be like, right? And I'm not saying anything because it's not like April yet or whatever, right? But when I look at Baker Mayfield, he can make short passes, intermediate to medium. He can make the deep ones. He got a cannon. He can throw that bit. Like people want to talk about his arm strength. I've seen him a couple times. He's thrown it accurately. One of the big things I walked away from, something I really like about him, that dude is an animal on third downs. That's very important in the National Football League. 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7, 3rd and 9. You see a lot of these check down Charlie type of cats I seen specifically, I put this in my notes to show y'all, I seen specifically where it was like 3rd and 3. And he could have easily taken the little shallow crossing combination situation and got 3 yards and lived to fight another day. He was a gangster on 3rd down now. He was a gangster enough to take. Nah, I'm taking that deep corner right there. And he connected it. He took the scarier throw. It was an effective throw, a high percentage throw, less high percent than that shallow cross was. But he made that better throw. He saw it. He saw it and he made it. I think that's a high quality trait. Another high quality trait is that dude is poised. I remember one day we was talking about Brad Kaya, and I was all like, I mean, I like Brad Kaya, you know, if he got a clean pocket and if nobody's chasing him, but when he gets pressure, he looks bad. And somebody like, well, Vach, isn't that all quarterbacks, if they get pressure, they look bad? Man, look, I've seen people chasing the hell out of Baker Mayfield, and that dude keeps his eyes up and he finds dudes down the field. He can scoop.
Look at what makes Aaron Rodgers great.
Look at what makes Aaron Rodgers great. Baker Mayfield can scoot. He's not a Lamar Jackson type runner. He runs more so to keep the play going, but he keeps his eyes downfield. It's like, I last year when I was watching Tre'Davious White, it kind of just hit me as a scout. I had a scout moment. I'm like, maybe senior players, it's something about these senior college football players that have played for a long time that just know the game better. Like Tre'Davious White he wasn't the most skilled cornerback in that class, but he was a senior. He's seen so much stuff and he was so polished. And you can say the same about Carson Wentz. Right. And you can say the same about Carson Wentz and Dak Prescott. These seniors, these guys that have seen so much football that they're just polished to where, you know, they excel, you know, better than that junior would, or that flashy, super talented sophomore type of guy would be. And I look at Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield does a lot of, hey, I've been doing this for 5 years, dog. There is nothing you can do to me that can shake me up. I've seen people chase Baker, and Baker will make one little, okay, I know that if you're gonna over pursue me, I can take one step back and you will just miss, because I've done this before. Let me point to you downfield because I'm comfortable while being chased, because I've been here before. I know how to do this. These little nuances, because I've been here before. I think there's something to a senior quarterback that plays a lot of games, that scores a lot of points, that wins a lot of big games, man. Oklahoma played against Ohio State early in the season, a big game for Oklahoma. Baker Mayfield wasn't scared of no damn Oklahoma. And it's easy to say, oh, Baker Mayfield plays in the Big 12. You know, you watch the Oklahoma State shootout. But, man, he does this with these big schools. I'm really interested to see what Baker does against Georgia. That's different, because he ain't seen nothing like Georgia yet. I want to see what he can do with Georgia. I was pleased walking away with Baker. I'm not saying quarterback 1, 2, 3, 4, anything like that. But I will say a lot of people compare him to Johnny Manziel because he plays hero ball, because he's a gangster. I think he's a little more composed than Johnny. Johnny, you know, Mike Evans saved Johnny a whole bunch. You know what I'm saying? But when you look at a guy like Russell Wilson or something like that, Russell Wilson was a lot more composed with his moving around. I'm not making comparisons, but I'm saying he's more like that than Johnny. What y'all got?
Who'd like to go first?
Nicholas, what you got?
Okay, Baker Mayfield. You guys all know my story. I came in here about a month ago. Baker Mayfield, head and shoulders above everybody. I watched the film. I got a little bit too Kevin, what's his name, from draft day, and I didn't like him too much. He dropped a QB4. I took a look at the film once again for my film session that I recorded, and I'm in the process of editing, but I walked away afterwards. I was a big fan of Baker Mayfield.
Mm-hmm.
Couple things right off the bat: 6'1", 220. A lot of people are questioning whether he's 6'1". I think he's 6'1". I've seen pictures. He looks like he's about an inch off of Lamar Jackson, who I believe is about 6'2" or 6'3". So I think that'll prove some scouts wrong. Obviously, his accolades are crazy. He's a redshirt senior. I mean, and he's a Heisman winner. The things like the arrested on DUI charge. Dak got arrested on a DUI charge, if y'all remember, before the draft, which caused him to drop in the 4th round.
Mm-hmm.
The stuff at OU, I mean, I'm a little bit worried about his immaturity, but I'm confident that
Not worried about it. Not worried about it. And I'm sorry for cutting you off, but this is my show. I'm not worried about that. I love the fact that my quarterback can look at the other team. Oh, you ain't shake my hand? I'm fixing to whoop your ass. I'm going to grab my nuts. I'm going to cuss. It's 30 cameras on me. I don't care. F y'all.
Well,
I love that.
Well, that's the same thing with Phillip Rivers. Whenever he came in and played against some of the competition in the AFC West,
yeah,
and he's just like, I don't give a damn about any of y'all. I'm going to show you exactly who I am. Mm-hmm. I mean, you saw I know Jay Cutler's not anything now, but Jay Cutler back when he was playing with Denver,
right?
And Jay Cutler would come out there and cuss at Phillip Rivers. Phillip Rivers comes back over here and goes, no, do you know who I am? Mm-hmm. Do you know who your team is? Mm-hmm. I'm going to come out there and throw like 300 on you guys tonight. Prepare yourselves. And I think that's kind of the stuff that I see in Baker Mayfield. Right. But at the same time, it's like, man, we need this in the NFL, dude. Mm-hmm. We need cocky, knows who he is, gonna go out there because he's got the skills. He's going to get seasoned up by NFL coaching, and he's going to light you up type of quarterback. And he's going to come into the press conference, and he's going to be all nice and whatnot and everything. But the moment he hits that field, you're going to see him flipping the bird, doing the FU thing, running out there, kicking, screaming, wailing. That's what I want. That's what I want. I need this. I need this in my life.
If Georgia got balls, I dare them to not shake Baker Mayfield's hand at the goddamn coin toss. I dare Georgia. That'll make for a good bowl game. Don't shake his hand and see what happens.
Mm-hmm. And with the immaturity part, like I'm not too worried about it, but like you never know. It could be there's still that chance, but I don't want to be huge about it right now. Anticipation. I see a lack of anticipation in him. True. It doesn't look like he's going to be throwing his wide receivers open. True. I see a lot of times in his film that the wide receivers have to stop on an out route, on a slant route. The ball is behind them. They have to stop to catch the ball because the ball would be behind them if they kept running. He needs to improve on that. But otherwise, he's consistently accurate. He's making plays, like you said, Butch, small, short, intermediate, and deep passes. All of them are accurate. He makes good reads. He's going through at least 3 progressions per play. That's an average. He may be looking at 5 progressions at some point. Looks around targets, that's the same thing. He can run. I'm a huge fan of his running skill. He stays mobile in the pocket. He plays, and I don't mean to get to Skip Bayless on you, daredevil football. Bayless said that about Johnny Manziel a couple years ago. But it's a different kind of daredevil football. It's not Manziel daredevil football. It's Baker Mayfield daredevil football. And we need to reclassify Manziel from being a daredevil to Baker Mayfield being the daredevil, because he is.
I call it being a gangster and playing hero ball. Non-unintentional grinding down. You got something?
Yeah, I'm really excited because I think we've got 2 quarterbacks in this class with some serious attitude on them, and I like it. Yeah, Lamar Jackson, he doesn't have quite the, on the sideline stuff, but on the field, he's sort of got that cornerback thing where if he's making a play, he's going to get up and make some little, like, no, or something like that. Just, it gives that little flavor to the game. It's not just, all these anonymous people in visored helmets getting up and emotionlessly hitting people.
Yeah. I feel you. Any closing comments on Baker Mayfield? I was pleasantly surprised with him. And Nick, just moving forward, man, just to kind of help you in the film process, man, don't eat the cheese, bro. Like I know it's easy to go in these forums and these chat rooms, man, and they'll say this and they'll say that. I want you to make your mind up before you hear from anybody else. And if anybody say something, you listen to their comment and you'll go, okay, that kind of makes sense. If they do that, I want you to go back and rewatch it, fam. Because if you listen to them first, then you just kind of lost. You going just based on whatever you think that they saying, right? But if you watch yourself and you kind of make your own opinion, then you listen to what they say, then you go, okay, I kind of see what you're saying, but I still feel like this. And then you just add your argument on there. It's easy to miss on quarterbacks. It's easy to miss on running quarterbacks. So, just keep y'all eyes on that. Not just Nick, but everybody in the comment section and all that. Just do your homework first, then listen. Even with me, I'm Vach Lombardi, and this is my channel, and all y'all subscribe, but I still want y'all to have your own opinions. Then I want y'all to watch my film sessions just to see what I got to say. Then y'all watching me show my work on film. That's all. I don't want to be teaching y'all all the time. I just want this to be discussion.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess that's it then.
So excited to see you.
Well, since we're doing that, I'm just gonna crack this beer real quick, and we're gonna go ahead and move along, aren't we?
Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and wrap this thing up because I didn't want to be here long. I just wanted to tell y'all, just a little bit of who I was watching. What you were saying, Daniel? Not Lieutenant, but Daniel.
I'm so excited to see you revisit Lamar Jackson watch. I think you're going to be very, very, very pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, man. There's a new thing I'm doing. There's a new thing I'm doing when I'm watching film this year. I've made the conscientious decision. It's gonna piss me off, but I'm gonna watch four games from the quarterbacks. I normally would watch until I got you figured out. That's what I normally do. But people piss me off because they think I'm ill prepared or whatever. So cool. I'll watch 4 of your games. I'm gonna look at the game logs and see the differences in them, and we're gonna try to get some good diversity and good diversity in games watched. And it's going to be 4 of them, and we're going to figure this thing out. So,
hey y'all, this is my second beer. So dilly in the chat, if I could have that.
Dilly.
This is my second beer now.
Dilly. With that being said, though, Nick, plug your stuff, man.
Okay, website gdfofficial.com. Go check that out. And then my channel name, Nick Gashler. Go check that out. You can search it in. It'll be the first result, or you can. It's probably the only option we have on the comment section right now. But there's always a link to my website in the description box in any video you got. Go check out the Rosen versus Darnold film session. I did one on that a week ago before I went underground to watch some film. So just make sure to show some support. Subscribe, please. Go check out the website. New posts Mondays and Thursdays.
My man. Non-unintentional ground. I normally just let you go, but you a writer. You write with MJ. Go ahead and plug your stuff, man.
Yeah. Sports Fan Entertainment on YouTube, sportsfanentertainment.com. We're going to be putting out loads of draft content in the upcoming months leading up to the draft. It's going to be great. We've got some other dudes in the comment section. Heron Muhammad, he writes with me there. Got some great stuff.
Man, salute to MJ, man. He's doing big things, man. I'm proud of him, man. We're gonna get that thing going. Lieutenant Dan, what you got, man?
You want me to tag my stuff, or you want me to get into a different conversation?
No.
Or do you want me to take another sip of beer, because I can do that too?
Take a sip of beer, plug your stuff so we can wrap the show up, so me and you can do that one secret super Illuminati thing that we're doing.
1 second, let me clear it. How's it going, guys? It's your boy Lieutenant Dan from Unintentional Grounding on YouTube. Go check out my channel. Hit the like, subscribe button. Help me out over there. We're reaching almost 2,000 subs. Yes. So please go help me reach that particular point there. You can find me on Instagram and on Twitter at UNGR_show. And, of course, as I always say, go support us here on Lombardi's Draft Talk and on Unintentional Grounding, so that we can hit those big milestones. Help us out on Patreon and go watch our film sessions. They're dope, and we're going to be doing more live shows like this back and forth on each one of these channels. So don't miss it. Don't miss it.
Yeah.
Wait,
what happened?
Hold up. Who just started an SFE video?
Someone
just started an SFE video.
I did that. I did that. Look, man, cause look,
we're a handful of corporations.
Cause look, man, because I remember I was on MJ's show, last whatever,
yeah.
And I was like, okay, MJ got this many subs or whatever. Man, I hope to pass MJ one day. Look at all these subs MJ got. And I looked at his, just to kind of go see where his subs are at, and they're like 13.8. And I'm gonna go to my channel and see how many I got. And all right, cool. I'm not gonna say nothing. No, I'm not gonna say nothing. But I just do remember that was a goal of mine, just to kind of catch up or whatever. But I'm gonna leave that to y'all to go look. But I'm Vach Lombardi, man. I'll probably mingle in the chat box for a little bit. Salute the MJ and Sports Fan Entertainment. Salute the non-unintentional grounding Daniel. Salute the Nick Gashler, Lieutenant. Salute to you too, sir.
Sir.
I'm going on vacation for Christmas, because that's what you do, you animals. So I'm going to be making some film and things like that just to drop. But no live shows then, because I'm going to be on vacation. But I will have scheduled releases, all right? So just look out for that. With that being said, I'm Vach Lombardi. Y'all hold it down for the Doski Woski and the Peasky Whiskey, man. Salute.